Ian, Thespidia, Iraq, text editors, and calendars. Taking notes is very important. It's very difficult to manage life, limb, and livelihood using only your head. Forgetting things can cause demotivation and cognitive stress that may cause a person to spiral. In addition to that, most things that we have to take note of is usually attached to some form of time or time frame. This adds complexity to things we take note of, making success dependent to time, regardless of order the note was taken of. Meaning, scheduling, and time blocking is part and parcel if used to manage life. There leads us to the tools available for such tasks. Whether you choose Apple's ecosystem of Notes Reminders Calendar, Google's Task Keep Calendar, or Microsoft's Outlook and OneNote, they do provide an excellent cross-platform solution that can help a person manage their life and livelihood. However, notes and scheduling for non-corporate tasks is deeply personal. It doesn't make sense to entrust such personal things into a third party's computer, disguised under the term the cloud. Anyone will feel vulnerable or insecure once realization hits that your thoughts, feelings, and priorities, no matter how righteous or degenerate, is viewable and available for analysis to anyone who can access the so-called cloud, which leads us to more obscure tools like Obsidian. It's a tool that is primarily built to run locally, meaning its full functionality is on device and does not place your data at risk. However, it does become inconvenient to synchronize notes and schedules across devices. Obsidian is also known to be so customizable in terms of looks and function that new and old users alike may fall into unintended deep dives into its CSS, themes, folder structures, etc., instead of using it to manage one's personal notes and schedules. So what would be the best option then? Paper and pen? It is, after all, according to some psychology paper, proven that it boosts some brain function and memory compared to digital tools as a consequence of its in-your-face and tactile nature. It does have a different set of problems like losing or misplacing it, paper running out, ink running out, your pen not being returned to you, etc. Ultimately, we would recommend to use a terminal-based text editor like Vim, Emacs, or Nano to reduce distraction and minimize multitasking. Combined with a terminal calendar, everything has to be done manually, but similar to pen and paper. The in-your-face experience is well emulated and maintained. You can also use things like SCP, rsync, or SyncThing to move your notes across different devices without relying on third-party, which keeps your data and information safe from advertisers, trackers, etc. The same workflow can also be replicated on almost any device. GNU/Linux has a plethora of terminal emulators or the terminal itself. In Android, most people use Termux. iOS has the A shell, while Mac OS does have its own default terminal. Portability shouldn't really be an issue. Of course, notifications has to be handled manually. In line with the previous idea, you read your notes and schedules, then create notifications that will help you zero in on time constraints and limitations. It's under your control, under your active participation. Structuring one's notes and schedule is also very important. For life management, it's always better to note or schedule things in bullet form as it's quick to read and type. It is true that some notes and schedules may require actual sentences and paragraphs, but it's less common than one would think. For a single text file, having the first few lines of text contain urgent things to do will be very useful to remind the user whenever the file is initially opened. The last few lines of the file is best used for tracking daily, weekly, and monthly schedule. Everything in between should be used to take notes, and write ideas provided proper dividers are placed like spamming the hashtag for a line or similar. Ultimately, a minimal tool set and active participation is more than enough to manage life, limb, and livelihood in a meaningful way. You control the file. You control the methodologies. You keep your privacy. After all, no matter what you do and how well you do it, chaos can only be kept at bay. And on that terrible note, it's time to end the show. Good night.